Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again and welcome to any new viewers. This is To The Point English with Ben. I'm Ben and today I'm going to tell you how to learn English faster. And I decided to make today's video outside because I wanted to show you this lovely green valley in the beautiful August sunshine, but I woke up this morning to a blanket of fog. But I decided to make the video outside anyway because I think it's still quite pretty, isn't it? And Amy's here behind me, by the way. So yeah, how to learn English faster. I know that sounds like clickbait, but I honestly believe that if you follow my tips that I'm going to give in this video, that you will be able to learn English faster. Now, as many of you know, I'm an English teacher with 20 years experience, but apart from that, and perhaps more importantly for this video, I'm also a language learner. So I really understand what it's like, how frustrating it can be when you feel that you're not progressing, you're not improving your level at the rate or the pace that you would like. And that feeling that your progression is excruciatingly slow can be quite demoralising sometimes and demotivating. But remember one thing, there's no real pressure or necessity to learn English faster. You can take your time and enjoy the process, and as long as you're progressing, you're going in the right direction, then that's the important thing. So my first tip, if you want to learn faster, you have to fail faster and more often, because failure is an inevitable part of any process, right? In fact, many big companies adopt this fail faster philosophy when they have new projects, that they understand that there are going to be failures, so they get those out of the way as quickly as possible. And with your English, of course, you're not designing anything, you're not producing anything, but it is a process. It's all about doing, making mistakes, getting the feedback, and learning from those mistakes and improving. Put yourself in these positions where you have opportunities to speak a lot, where you have opportunities to write, the productive skills. I know it's uncomfortable and embarrassing to make mistakes. Nobody likes making mistakes, but consider this question. What is worse than making mistakes when using English? What do you think the answer to that question is? Well, it's simple. It's not using English. That's what's worse than making mistakes when using English. It's just not using English at all. So you have to use the English and make mistakes. My second tip on how to learn English faster is quite a simple one, and it may seem obvious, but you have to ask yourself if you're really doing it. Be honest with yourself. And it's simply to pay more attention. Now, you may be a really good English student, right? You may follow all the typical tips and recommendations and advice that English teachers like me give, like to watch films and series in English, listen to podcasts in English, watch all YouTube videos in English, of course, surround yourself with English and immerse yourself in English. That's great. I'm sure you're doing that. I hope you're doing that anyway. But you may still feel that you're not really progressing at the rate that you would like. You want to progress more quickly. So probably the mistake that you're making, or the thing that you're lacking, is this paying attention. Because there's one thing watching a film, enjoying the film in English, and getting the benefit of improving your listening comprehension, maybe learning a new word or two, but just to enjoy the film, and that's absolutely fine. That's great. Do that. Continue doing that. But if you really want to learn faster, to really improve more quickly, you need to pay more attention. You need to be more proactive. So it's really about thinking about and analyzing the input that you're receiving. So when you hear a new expression, an idiomatic expression or a phrasal verb or a structure, or if you see it when you're reading, then don't just be happy to understand it and move on. Really think about it, analyze it, maybe take notes of what you've learned, and then practice it with it later. Just really pay attention. And it's all the time, not just while you're watching a film or a series. In your life in general, we're generally surrounded by English anyway these days. Wherever you go, you'll often see or hear English. When you have a low level of English, of course you're paying attention, because you need to pay attention to really be able to understand anything or to communicate in any way. You have to be really focused. But as I said, when you get to that sort of B2 level again, you have enough grammar, you have enough vocabulary, your pronunciation is good enough. Everything is just enough to be able to do most things in English. But to get to the next level and to continue improving at the rate that you want to, you have to be more proactive and make that effort and really pay attention all the time. And my last tip for learning English faster, or any language come to think of it, and you're not going to like it by the way, but it's active reading. You're probably not reading enough. I mean, maybe you're one of the exceptions, but most of us, and I include myself in this, don't read enough. I think in general we should all be reading more, but in particular when you're learning a second language, I think it's probably the one activity that I would recommend. If you only have time to do one thing, I recommend that you read. And it doesn't have to necessarily be books. I mean, sometimes big books are intimidating to read, and it can take a long time, and it gets a bit boring sometimes, depending on the book. And also, I think you often get more benefit from reading articles, short articles or short stories, because then you have the opportunity to read a lot of different styles, a lot of different types of vocabulary, and even grammatical structures. That's general advice for learning a language, but to really learn faster, it has to be active reading. You're analyzing what you're reading, again, the vocabulary, the grammar, the structures in general, the idiomatic expressions, the phrasal verbs, whatever. Keep a notebook, so to continue expanding your vocabulary. And reading is particularly beneficial because you can go back and read the same sentence 10 times if you want or need to. With watching a film or listening to a podcast, yes, of course you can rewind a section and listen to it again, but it's not the same. You're more in control when you're reading. I think you can really internalize the structures in particular. And of course, you can also read out loud, which I think is an excellent activity, especially if you record yourself, which I know it's horrible, people hate doing that. But if you read out loud and really focus on your pronunciation and then listen back to it later, then you really start to understand where you need to improve. Again, it's a horrible experience. I know everybody hates hearing the sound of their own voice. But again, if you really want to improve faster, that's an excellent activity you can do. So do you have any tips of your own for learning a language faster? Put them in the comments. We can all help each other here. And remember, it's not necessary. If you're progressing slowly and you're happy with that, then that's fine. As long as you're improving, that's the only thing that's important. But I do understand the frustration of learning a language and when you feel you're not really progressing as you would like to. Okay, so I'll see you very soon for another video. Let's say goodbye to Amy. Good girl. When you're watching a film, yes, of course you can rewind the film and watch that part again if you missed something or you wanted to learn something in particular. So that's Amy. When you're ready. No.